Viewfinder or screen? Viewfinder or screen? Which one should we use? Hi, I'm Phil Riley, and this week I'm asking the question, is the viewfinder dead? Now, I thought, rightly or wrongly, that using a screen to compose a picture on a camera was strictly for amateurs. But I went to a wedding recently, and the photographer there was using the screen on his camera to compose all the pictures, and I thought, that's madness, these are going to be rubbish. But actually, when I saw the pictures afterwards, they were fantastic. He was a real pro quality wedding photographer. And it got me thinking, is this the future of photography? A quick look on YouTube and some of the world's best known YouTube photographers, millions of followers. Well, they're using screens to compose pictures nowadays. So let's rewind to how photography started. Photographers started with their heads underneath a cloth. But actually what they were looking at was a ground glass screen. Really? Yeah, it's a screen. That's what they were looking at. What? So this whole screen thing's not new at all. And then with 120mm film came the twin lens reflex and waist level viewfinders. And there were screens. You were looking down at a screen. And then the modern world realised that if it used mirrors, it could reflect an image into a viewfinder. The SLR is born. For decades, we're taught to hold the camera up to our eye to take a picture. But the end of the 20th century brings us mobile phones, and they have cameras, but they don't have viewfinders. That's right, you guessed it. It's the return of the screen for composing your pictures. Taking pictures on phone screens becomes so popular that the SLR world decides to adopt it. They got rid of the mirrors and the prism on the top of the camera and made mirrorless cameras with electronic viewfinders. And now photographers have a choice. They can have the electronic viewfinder image that they put their eye up to, but they can have the image on the screen. So, which one of those is best for composing images? Well, how long is a piece of string? There's no right and wrong answer. Personally, I like viewfinders because they enable me to isolate the image. I've got no distractions then from the outside world. I can really focus on exactly what. Take two. Personally, I like viewfinders because they enable me to isolate the image, free from distractions from the outside world. I can really focus on exactly what that image looks like. Yeah, some people think you're too close to the image when you're looking through the viewfinder, and by holding it away, you can actually see the composition a little bit clearer. But you've also got the ambient light around you, and it's difficult to see colour temperatures. Not to mention bright sunlight. When I use a screen to compose on the back of a camera in bright sunlight, I can't see a thing. Yeah, but the screen's giving you real-time image data, so you can get exposure absolutely bang on. See it exactly as it's going to appear in the picture. That's got to be good, hasn't it? Look, the bottom line is, I think when you're a professional photographer, you've got to hold the camera up to your eye and look through the viewfinder, because that's what people expect a photographer to do. I don't think they'd be too happy to see you holding the camera out in front of you when you're doing a pro job. Yeah, but don't forget, the pros are using the viewfinder because they want to save their batteries as well. Of course, the screen zaps batteries, doesn't it? I can get 2,000 images a day out of my Nikon D810. I'll be lucky to get 350, I reckon, from a camera shooting with a screen. They've both got their pros and cons, haven't they? I mean, I love composing a static object using a screen, but I wouldn't use a screen to try and track a bird in flight. It'd be almost impossible for me. My advice is to learn to use both of them. Be as good with one as the other. Use them as tools in your toolbox. If you find one difficult, then practice it. Go out of your comfort zone, make yourself good with it. I wonder how many people do still use viewfinders. Leave me a comment down below. I wouldn't mind knowing how many people are still using the viewfinders, or how many have just switched completely to composing with screens.